I'm Fatima Bocoum, and today I'm the face of America. So I was born in China. I grew up in Libya and spent some time in Saudi Arabia before moving to Mali, West Africa. And I grew up seeing women marginalized. They had to wear hijabs. They could not, in some areas such as Saudi Arabia, they could not drive. In Libya, they were completely in their homes. You wouldn't see them interact with the world. And so I grew up with that sense of injustice and feeling that sense of injustice and wanting to change things for women, and that's how I started Openletr. Hi, my name is Fatima Bocoum. I'm the founder at Openletr, and we are a platform enabling women to shape their own narrative. I actually do not remember China. I left when I was about 2 years old, so I have no memory whatsoever of China. What I do know and the stories that I've been told are still ingrained in my mind. I remember my mother telling me that when she would go out, people would touch her skin to see if it would come off if the skin was colored. They just did not realize, and actually they did not know that black people existed. So that's something that I remember, and that was in the 1980s. So that was a long time ago during communism, again, at a time where in general people were marginalized. My mother is very traditional and very conservative, very much. She is, however, empowered, but she doesn't know it because she never faced any situation where she had to make choices between being empowered, making decisions, because we grew up in different countries. So she has been always free without knowing it. However, the teaching that I received from her is really stay home, be quiet, be the good girl. So we are at the very end of the spectrum. So I'm on one end and she's on the other. However, I see a lot of we have similar personalities in the sense that she doesn't take a no for an answer and I don't either, and that's why when we interact it's like no, there is never a compromise anywhere. So that's very interesting, and she believes that women. She believes she believes in the old school teaching about women, but she is empowered and she doesn't know it. And my job today is to show her how empowered she is, and for her to change her messaging when she speaks to me and my younger sister. So that is my goal with my mother. On the other hand, my father, who passed away 3 years ago, is also on a different spectrum, super open-minded. He was super open-minded, super liberal, super understanding, and so I got that open-mindedness and the strength, the diplomacy of my father and the strength of my mother. In 2010, I was sexually abused, and I had never shared that with anyone whatsoever. By fear, again, of many things, of being judged, of being perceived as even a liar. Women tend to be perceived as liar when they tell their stories about sexual abuse. They're never trusted really fully. And also, I did not want to put the shame on my family. I was worried that my family wouldn't understand, and all these emotions. And so however, there is something truly painful when someone lives with a secret. It's as heavy as having a knife in your back that you cannot tell anyone, you cannot show, because you have to pretend that everything is fine, but you're living with that pain. And so As things evolved, I was working in the financial district for a technology company, and at some point I realized that I was getting bored. It wasn't fulfilling to me. I wasn't going for my passion, so I decided to launch Openletr. And when we started, we were a publisher writing articles for women about anything that would matter to them and would help them live a better life. So anything from beauty to art to culture in general to technology, business, anything really that could help any women achieve their goals, really. And also we wanted to highlight women that are paving the way. So women that are daring, they're doing, they're not necessarily following the rules, and that way we would motivate others to pursue their dreams. And so as I was going through all of that, I came across many Times Up articles and Me Too articles, and I felt a great sense of shame because I was not preaching. I was preaching something that I was not myself following. So I was empowering women, but I was not fully empowered, and it wasn't enough to write. I had to stand up for myself. I had to speak up about and speak out about what happened to me. So I did that. I shared a video and I explained my story. And from that point, I received many messages from other women that related to my story, but also we kind of helped one another. I shared advice. They did the same. And I realized that a publisher was not going to be enough to create true change. So we are now expanding into a social media app for women specifically, with the aim to break all societal inculcated issues. So we want to give women a voice to share any issues they have, whether sexual abuse, harassment, work discrimination, self-esteem issues, but also we want to enable women to connect with other women. So increase their network, increase their status, create more collaborations, more women-to-women collaborations, and consume and share content that are enlightening, entertaining, educational, to advance social goods. So what is my message to men? I wish we understood more how men think. I think we judge a lot, and so I wish I had more insights into men's mind. But what I have to say is that we are truly equal. So I truly believe in feminism. And by the way, recently studies have shown that women do no longer identify as feminists compared to a few years ago, just because the word feminist is perceived as has a negative connotation. And I personally remember saying, oh, I'm a feminist, and men would say, yeah, but you know what, you don't have to be that way. It's basically a sign that you're not fully women, because it shows that you're fighting. It's a sign of anger, as opposed to being there for a man and being caring, which is completely wrong, actually. And I think that's a way, it's truly manipulative from men, I would say, and I have to be honest, because feminism really simply means equality between men and women.